Chris Level here with another edition of Patriot Talk, pointing in the football helmet, although we're going to talk baseball. Okay, it's the weather's warming up, kinda, little rain, little wind, and all that. Still kind of cold. Must be baseball season, right? But we will talk to Lamar Kello, who is the new head coach over at Lubbock Cooper Liberty High School and part of the baseball program and all those things, which is brand new. As we've talked to every coach over at Liberty. Year one, getting it started. We'll talk to him about all that, and looking forward to my conversation with him, which will begin now. So, Coach, first of all, Andrews, Texas. You always wanted to coach baseball? Like, kind of take me through your background a little bit, how we ended up here.
Okay, I for the most part, I've always wanted to coach baseball. I played baseball in high school. I played baseball in college. I didn't play baseball in college because I was, amazing at it. I wanted to, and so I found a place that would let me, and I went and I did it for 4 years. And I did a lot of sitting the bench, but I did a little bit of playing, and I got to have that experience, and it was great, and I loved it. And yeah, I wanted to get into coaching. It was mainly about baseball. I didn't actually play high school football, but in Texas, if you coach baseball, you coach football, and I knew that. And I loved football. I just didn't play it. And but I was all about coaching baseball and doing a little football. And then kind of the more I coached football, the more I grew to love coaching football. So I've kind of done them both. I've been an offensive coordinator for 8 years, and I've been a head baseball coach for 12 years. So I've kind of been, really involved in both of those sports. But baseball was the first love, and it's always been something that I wanted to be in my career is baseball. And I've got 25 years experience, and like I said, 12 years head coaching, and then the other 13 I was assistant in a couple different places.
What position did you play when you were growing up?
Everything. Growing up, if you're decent, you're playing shortstop, pitcher, or whatever, and that's what I did in Little League. But up to when I moved to the varsity in high school, I moved to the outfield, and that's where I played in college, is in the outfield.
Well, and that's that becomes that much more important at that level too.
And start hitting the ball around a little bit more. Yeah.
Oh yeah, like you better have some athletes out there that can chase it down and track a fly ball and all those things. Otherwise, singles turn into triples and all those things. It's not good. Did you? Who's your do you have a favorite pro baseball team? Are you Rangers fan, Astros fan, or are you?
I pull for the Rangers because they're Texas. I'm Texas, but I grew up a Braves fan.
Okay.
I'm at that age where, when you were a kid, you could watch every single Braves game on TV or every single Cubs game on TV. And honestly, the Cubs played during the day, and that's when we were outside playing. And the Braves played at night. And so, I watched the Braves every night, and so I became a Braves fan, and I've always been a Braves fan. But I do also cheer for the Rangers. American League, National League. It's okay to have one in each. But I definitely am much more with the Braves. But I was fired up to see the Rangers have that success this year. That was awesome.
World Series. Did you have a favorite player when you were growing up? Like, were you a Dave Justice fan?
I'm a little older than that.
Okay.
But Del Murphy.
Okay,
Del Murphy was my guy when I was young. But then, on those teams where they started winning all those division titles in a row and World Series, I was kind of a Ron Gant fan. Maybe that was because I was a college outfielder, and Ron Gant wasn't as well known as some of the others, but on those teams that won all those titles and stuff, he was kind of the guy I liked. I'm not really sure why that was, because he was definitely much lower on the popularity list, but that was kind of my guy there.
Yeah, well, you're loyal, and we appreciate that. Yeah, and hopefully with this Patriot roster, there's some Maddox, Glavine, Smoltz type type guys from a pitching staff.
You're mentioning those pitchers, and man, that's where it's at. That's where it's at. You got to be able to hit the ball for sure, but man, if you can't get them out, you're in trouble.
You're in trouble.
That's right.
So and you, I've known your dad for a long time. Obviously, he's taught some stuff over at Cooper West Elementary for years, and taught a lot of the boys that you're going to be coaching.
Yeah, it's kind of funny.
So yeah, small world or worlds colliding, something like that. Take me through why wanting to get back to Lubbock, and what made Liberty such a something you wanted to really be back in Lubbock and kind of be a part of and start and all those things.
Well, I was the head baseball coach at Roosevelt a good while back, 10 years ago, I guess. And I grew up in Andrews and had the opportunity to move back home and coach. And it's a good school system there and a good place. And I liked it. And I was happy. I was happy there. We weren't necessarily looking for a move, but we did have a changeover in some coaching administration over there, and it kind of rocked the boat a little bit and just made it like, you know what, maybe we should look into something. And man, I had heard that Cooper was building a new school, but I had no idea. And then where they were in the process of hiring and anything like that. But a friend of mine was telling me they took they were doing applications and taking stuff, and I was like, you know what, this thing at Andrews has been good, but with this changing happening, it might be time to check into it. And my wife, went to college up here, and she enjoyed working up here. And so I was like, hey, what do you think if we checked into this? And she's like, sure, there's a lot of opportunities in Lubbock, And so then it just kind of happened, man. It was just real fast and easy and just made it feel like, well, I guess that's what we needed to do, because it just happened just like that. It was super easy.
And now that you're here and established and trying to get things established, what was is there, I don't know, it's probably twofold, but is it fun or nerve-wracking or whatever when you're just starting something from completely scratch? Like, there's nothing established. We don't have uniforms. We don't have a facility yet. We don't have a roster. I don't have any kind of culture. I mean, you're just like, probably all the above.
Yeah, I mean, I've bounced around a little bit in my 25 years, maybe more than I would like, but I will say that every time you go somewhere new, you're always like, well, this is how they did it, and this is what this coach was like, and he didn't like whatever, and he did this, and so you're kind of coming in, and you're always kind of having to, like, I don't say tiptoe, because you're going to do what you do, but sometimes you meet resistance because, well, that's not,
how it's been done,
whatever, and that does create a different atmosphere here, and that makes it pretty cool, pretty interesting. There's still people that kind of will, even though we're a new school, they'll compare us to Cooper High, and they'll kind of, are we doing it like Cooper High? Are we doing it like Cooper High? But we're different. We're for one, we're small right now. I mean, eventually we'll be extremely similar to them, but right now we're different because we're smaller. But yeah, I mean, doing new and starting from scratch and getting to create it on your own, and brand it and buy all the stuff, and it's just, yeah, it's a whole lot of fun. It's been really neat. It's been a really cool experience. You mentioned not having your own field. Now, we've had trials all throughout the year for all of our sports with that issue, but man, that is one that's hitting pretty good. It's making life a little bit stressful, a little bit difficult, and it'll all be good in the end, and we'll make it work. But yeah, I mean, every day I get done teaching a class at 3:45. I run out in the parking lot, I get the bus, drive it over to the locker room. The kids load up. I drive them over to the Milwaukee fields. We don't get to start practice till 4:30. We practice till 6:30, 6:45, and then we got to clean up stuff, and then I got to drive the bus back to school before I can get my truck and go home. And so I get home just in time to tell my kids good night, and there we go. And then we do it all over again the next day. So yeah, there's definitely some from some little frustration with that, but. It's just part of that process, and we'll get through it, and we'll be better for it, and it'll all be good.
Yeah, building character. Yeah, and obviously you mentioned that because you guys from football dealt with all that, and now basketball was a bit tricky with the gyms not quite being ready until it's time, and hopefully baseball stadium ready to go before next season. So this is kind of a one-year deal. Again, hopefully.
Yeah.
You never know about construction and all those kinds of things. Take me through your philosophy on like roster. You mentioned like it's a small school, and I think a lot of people here don't really grasp that concept that everybody's playing all these different sports and all that, because at the high school there's a lot of kids that had to pick and choose because it's bigger, there's more competition and all those things. But you kind of already gone through your tryout process. You've kind of got your general pool of players, and I don't know if you've divided them up into JV and varsity and all those things yet, but still, take me through just that process and how you got to where you are now.
Yeah, okay. I know, like I'd mentioned before, sometimes people here will compare to Cooper High, and and we are totally different scenario there than what they are when it comes to baseball. They have so many people to pull from that kids there, if they're a great pitcher, they might turn into just a great pitcher, and that's it. And so I know that their varsity team has 8 to 10 guys that only pitch, and and there's when you're in a small school setting like we are, and that's what I've done a lot of coaching at. Is we don't have guys that only pitch. If we took our 10 best pitchers, they're going to be 10 of our 15 best players. So if a kid's not pitching for us, he's playing third base or he's playing left field or something like that. So we don't have people on the bench that are going to only pitch. So whenever we go to make a roster, if I have 20 people on that roster and I got 9 guys in the starting lineup, and I got nobody that only pitches, when I take out this pitcher, I'm going to put him at third, and I'm going to move the third baseman to left field. I'm going to bring the left fielder in to pitch. I didn't touch anybody on the bench because I still have to put my best 9 out there. I don't say, oh, well, I've got 25 that wanted to be on the varsity, so we'll just play a lesser kid so that more people are on the team. No, we've got to always put our best people out there, and it just so happens that our best people, even when we rotate positions, are still the same people. As you grow and have more in your school, then now your best 9 players mean, oh, if he comes out of the game pitching, he is not better than these other fielders, so I'm going to have to bring him to the bench, and I'm going to have to bring somebody in the game. And if you want to keep your best 9 on the field, even when you change pitchers, you're going to keep the same 9 on the field most of the time. So it doesn't benefit us to have too many on the varsity, because then you just end up not playing. Yeah. Varsity is not a time to let's split all the playing time equally and all that. You're trying to win games, and you do that by putting the best team out there. Now, early on, obviously, everybody on that roster is going to be getting opportunities because we got to find who the best are. But anyway, we don't want to have too many on that team, because then they're just not playing enough to get us any good out of it. And the JV is going to be the same way. Now, the JV is our minor leagues, so to speak. That's where we develop the people, and so our varsity has 16, and we haven't fixed that yet because we still got basketball players, but our varsity's going to have 16 and our JV's going to have 18. But it's going to be the same way on the JV. Just because that kid's the best JV pitcher doesn't mean that he doesn't get to be the JV second baseman also. So we're not going to say this kid on the JV is only a pitcher or this kid on the JV is only a first baseman. So it is still the same, but we do want to get at least a couple more spots so that we're developing as many kids as we can. But anyway, it's not like we had 70 come out and only kept the 34. We only had 42 come out, and we kept 34. So we really kept almost everyone that came out. We only cut a small number, just like at Cooper High. Even though they have larger teams, they still cut a small number as well.
Okay. Take me through putting. That's one of the other things that is you're starting from scratch, is putting a schedule together. Like, what was your goal? Like, do I really want to dip my toe in here because I don't really know what I've got? Do I want to put my best foot forward and like push these guys really hard? Kind of take me through the non-district portion of your schedule.
Right. Well, sometimes people already have things set up where they're already going to have games, and so as you start it, you're not sure if it's going to be too easy or not. But as it turns out, it wasn't too difficult to find games. The hardest thing for me to find was scrimmages for some reason, which not a big deal because it is just a scrimmage, just a practice. But we did, like, our first scrimmage is going to be against Coronado, but it'll be against their freshmen and their JV. And so our JV and our varsity against their freshmen and their JV, and then we'll scrimmage Plainview and Brownfield. But I knew, I didn't know, I hadn't seen my guys or anything like that when I was making a schedule, but I had a pretty good feeling we'd have a strong group, and I didn't want to go out and get a bunch of teams that we would end up beating by 20 runs. So I wanted to make sure we challenged us,
because nobody gets anything out of that.
Yeah, no, it's not good. I mean, our goal is to win playoff games, and we're not going to win playoff games by finding the worst 2A school in the area to play a game against. So we I tried to do it. I didn't want to go and play 5As and 6As or anything like that, but we definitely tried to go out and get some 3A teams that are playoff caliber teams, because that's where we're playing, and then and then a little bit of the 4A. We're not playing any 5As other than the sub varsity, but we are playing 3A and 4A varsity teams, and then in our tournaments they wanted us to get a lot of good practice too, because boy, they're challenging us in our tournaments. Our first tournament game of the year is against New Home, which now that's a small school, but that's a good one. That's a really good one, and they have a kid that is already committed to Tech. So they are extremely talented. And then also we're playing Bushland in our one of our tournaments, and that's the year in and year out. That's the best 3A team in the Panhandle, and then we're playing 4A Estacado, 4A Greenwood, 4A Levelland. All of those are tournament games. In baseball. Baseball's not like basketball or football. Football, half of your games are non-district. And in basketball, you got a pretty good window of non-district games. In baseball, we have tournaments. We have 3 tournaments, and then boom, district starts. We have one non-district game before our first tournament. And then we have some non-district games.
Monterey, right?
Monterey. That's their JV. That's
okay.
their JV. Yeah.
Okay.
But during district, because we have an odd number of teams in our district, we have 2 byes, and so we do have non-district games during district because of that. But we only have time for one non-district game before district starts. So we have a non-district game, and we have 3 tournaments, and then we're into district.
Yeah, and as I look at it, you're playing non-district games against Trinity and the Titans.
Yeah,
the homeschool team, and then the private school, like in late April, really, right before the end of the season.
Right. So those were open dates that we had in our district schedule. One of those dates is because since we're such a small school district, I can't even remember what the event was, but there was an event that the district said, hey, let's not play here. But because we have kids that are so involved in so many things, I knew that even if I was missing a couple kids, we'd go ahead and play a game and get our kids a game. Yeah. But one of those was an open date, and then but we have 3 open spots: Brownfield, Trinity Christian, and the Titans. Those are all during district play that will be playing a non-district game. And when you're trying to find somebody during district time, it is almost impossible. So you take whoever you can get. And, Trinity might be a little bit above our level. They don't normally play 3A schools, but that'll be great for us. It'll be a real good challenge for us as we're in district play and prepping for playoffs, playing a team like that.
And this is the official hat?
Yeah, that's our hat right there.
Right there you get a good look at that. Good looking. I love the stars on the
we try to we use our LCP, keep it our LCP, but we want to throw a little Patriot flair in there. So we got to get a little stars for the Patriot flair going. So
I love the flair. This is
kids like that word.
That's right.
It's not me. But I got to try to adapt. I got to keep them happy.
Adapt and thrive.
Kids like stuff, man. Yeah. They like stuff. So you got to try to buy stuff that they like.
Young people call it drip.
Drip.
And then us old folks call it flair. Yeah. That's right.
Yeah, I definitely can't use the right words, but I know they need stuff.
Yes,
I know they need stuff.
Yes, I like it.
They love stuff.
I like it. Okay, so your scrimmages basically start within a week from now that you and I are sitting here talking, and all your home games will be at Cooper High School this year.
Yes, sir.
We will be broadcasting a lot of those. I know all the district home games and some of the non-district home games. Like I think the Monterey game, I think is we're going to try to broadcast and all those things. So and you guys will be streaming it. So but everybody, where can they follow you guys on social media? Where's your? Do you know
man, we set that up because I know it's important, but I am so not
Coach
that
Summers,
guy.
I know
Coach Summers helps me a lot more with that. We have a Twitter, an X account, whatever that's called nowadays. Yeah. We have one, and I can't even tell you the things. Just start typing Liberty and Patriots and baseball, and you can find it. And we're also on Facebook. Yes. Same thing. Just start typing Liberty, Patriot, baseball, and you can find it. I can't tell you the
Coach
call
Summers,
sign there.
He's got a lot of good things planned for you guys social media because people want to follow this stuff if they can't be at a game or following score updates and all those things. So we'll try to do a good job there. But I know that you're used to weather issues if you've been in West Texas a lot. That's just part of what you have to deal with too. But it's been a little, as you've gotten practice going, a little rain, a little wind, a little mud, little shenanigans. That's just part of it, right? Yeah. And then as we're sitting here talking, it's like 65 degrees and unbelievable outside.
This week is amazing. Yes. This week is amazing. I'll tell you what, this week is amazing, but last week was so bad that even on Monday of this week, we practiced, but we were in some mud on our little practice field because it was so bad last week.
And again, just roll with the punches, right?
Yeah.
You just roll with the punches. Yes. Well, go Braves, go Rangers, go Patriots, go Dale Murphy, all those things. But yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed it. Good luck. Hopefully your kids stay healthy, and it should be a fun kind of inaugural season for. And have you grasped how? This is like a Lubbock thing, and I know it's not just a Cooper thing, but people take baseball very seriously.
Yeah.
which is good and can be kind of tough sometimes because everybody's like all in. Everybody's going to go play in college. Everybody's like, hey, did you see what I did in the weekend tournament? I mean, do you ever pay attention? Do you care if what team a kid is on when he's 12 years old?
Oh my gosh.
You should like smash that myth right there because I think people. They're like 12 or 13, are playing and they're getting the rings at the tournaments and all that. They think that the high school coach is following that like crazy. I don't think that's accurate.
Well, I'll tell you this. I have a 9-year-old son. He's never played one travel baseball game yet. He has not played a travel baseball game yet. Now, it won't be too long. We'll get him in there. But, I don't want to burn a kid out for sure. I've seen, in Andrews – Andrews is a very hardcore baseball town as well, and we had kids that were just blowing and going from 6 years old, and you see kids kind of get tired of stuff sometimes, and and my son so far, he's football, basketball, baseball, soccer, whatever season happens, he's playing that city league. He's doing that stuff, and I just don't want to get down that road of, we're playing over and over and over again. Now, you do need to do that at some point. If you want to get to that next level, then you are going to have to do some of that. But man, it doesn't have to start that young, and it doesn't matter, like you say, which team. But about the time you start becoming 11 and 12 years old, you probably need to start playing more games. Doesn't matter where. You don't need to be going to California and Florida to play your games. You can play them in Lubbock, Amarillo, and Midland, and that's fine. You just need to be playing ball, but don't go crazy too early. All right, but yeah, definitely start as you get older. Start to get more involved in that and get more games in. But man, don't hit it too hard and keep yourself versatile and play a couple, 2 or 3 different sports growing up and man, even in high school, still try to keep playing 2 of them. It's just
multi-sport athletes.
It's good to give your body that break, and to not be so focused on one thing at such a young age and get yourself where you don't enjoy it anymore.
Yeah, mentally as much as anything on the break. Last question, speaking of drip and stuff, uniforms. Are we just going with like all white and then take me through what you did there?
So what we have is we have a very classic plain kind of white. We've got white with a navy two navy pipings down the pants and on the arm sleeve and the neck, and it's just a real basic classic look, nothing fancy. Navy and red on the lettering and the numbering, and then we got a navy one coming that's not quite in yet, but I think it's hopefully about to be here, and that one is a button down, and it's got a red and white, and it's got this logo in the chest, and then on the back we got it's pretty cool. It's got flag numbers.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's got the numbers on the back have a little instead of being a blue or a red number, it's a flag.
Okay.
So it's like cut out of a flag, and so it's kind of cool.
I like it.
Yeah, it's kind of a deal. And then a little bit later on in the year, we'll have a little varsity surprise thing coming.
Okay.
You know.
Okay. I didn't mean to tip you
No,
off,
you're good. You're good. You're good.
Yeah.
You're good. So we got a little one more deal for the varsity a little later.
Okay. Very good. Very good. Because people, it's all about the uniform.
Yeah, I
man.
mean, yeah.
I mean,
I went to that first parent meeting back in March of last year, and Coach Sexton, any questions? And some kid who I would know now, but then I didn't, so I don't know. And he's like, "Who's sponsoring us? You know, like what clothes are we wearing? You know, like heck yeah, man, that's what they want to know. That's what they want to know, man. That's the big deal. Yeah. So." You know,
I love it. Well, Coach Kello, good luck, man. Stay healthy. Follow the Patriots. We'll get you those social media accounts and all that stuff. And again, hopefully you get some good weather and cooperation, and you know those bus rides hopefully are dwindling. There's not too many of those in our future.
Yeah.
You know,
it'd be great. It'd be great if we
for home
could
games,
just
anyways.
walk to the field next year. That'd be amazing.
Right. That's right. Well, man, I appreciate the time. You were very nice to do this, and that's going to be it for another edition of Patriot Talk. We'll talk to you next time.